Over the years, I've used dozens of tattoo machines, but there's really only been 5 that I've used consistently, and 90% of the time I use this one, and the rest are sitting on the shelves, judging me from a distance. Some of these machines I still love. By the end of this video, I'm gonna give you my top recommendations for both beginner and more experienced artists, as well as which machine I would never use again. And for each machine on this list, I'm gonna tell you what they're good at, what they suck at, and depending on what style that you do, which one you should consider buying. So let's start with the bottom of the list, and this one is going to surprise you, especially if you've been watching the channel for a while now, because back in 2021, 2022, I used to use this machine in a lot of the tattoos that I did, and that is the Inkjecta Nano. Now, it's not a bad tattoo machine. It's a very soft hitting machine, and it's great for smooth black and gray and blending. When you put a rubber band over the tension bar, it's very precise. The needles stay flush to the base of the cartridge, and it runs almost silently. The only trap is this little tension bar, okay? When you buy one of these, they come with 3 tension bars, soft, medium, and hard. And if you rotate those tension bars a certain way when you screw them into the machine, you can get 3 different variations of each tension bar. And when you combine that with all the different strokes that they have, you know, the 2.5, the 3, the 3.5, and the 4, you've got all these different combinations that you could put this machine on. And you know, years and years ago when tattooing education wasn't a thing, it's very overwhelming, especially if you're like a beginner. Now, for many years, I just used a 3.5mm stroke with a medium tension bar because that was in the middle. And I found that for all of my line work, I found it very difficult to push those thicker liners into the skin. So like my 9s, 11s, and 14s, I always had trouble with those, but for shading, it was great. I could always get very nice smooth blends. So for a long time, my shading was better than my line work. And it wasn't until I put in the rigid tension bar that my lines actually got a lot better. Now, if you are gonna buy one of these machines, I'd strongly recommend using the rigid tension bar instead of any of the other variations, because if you do, it gives the machine give, okay? Which means it backs off a little bit, or it absorbs some of the impact instead of penetrating the skin directly, which is not what you want for line work. You want something that hits hard, penetrates the skin, and gets those nice solid lines in. On top of that, I find the shape of the machine is a little bit awkward, okay? You can see here it's got an RCA on the back. That's fine for connecting a clip cord, works great. But as soon as you try and go wireless and you put a battery in the back of it, I find that it puts the weight off on the machine just a little bit. You can counterbalance it by putting a steel grip on the end, but if you use disposables and they're plastic, they're much, much lighter. The weight is constantly tugging your hand back, which I just find a bit uncomfortable when I'm tattooing. That said, if you don't mind using clip cords, this machine is not a bad choice if you like doing smooth black and gray shading, or even some super soft, realistic type work. But it's not my first choice if you're just getting into tattooing. Next up on our list, we have the Dragonhawk Mask Fold Pro 2. Now, what I like about this machine is that it's a great budget all-rounder machine. If you're just getting into tattooing and you don't have a whole lot of cash to spend, this is a great place to start. Good little intro to pen machines without having to get multiple different machines to do multiple different things. On the downside of that though, because they do make it so cost effective, they're restricted with how much they can invest in actually making the things, so they are a little bit fragile. I was only using this for a couple of months, and I wasn't even using it a lot, and already one of the screens has popped off one of the batteries and I can't use it anymore. It's also not the most powerful machine. I find this is a lot better for doing smaller tattoos, so anything beneath like a 9 mag or a 9 round liner, it's great for that. But once you start putting in bigger needles, I found personally that with a 23 curved mag, I did have a little bit of trouble penetrating the skin. I had to do a lot more passes than what I normally would, which made me tattoo slower. And I also caused some unnecessary trauma to the skin, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So who would I actually recommend this machine for? And personally, I would say if you are a beginner and you're just getting into tattooing and you're not quite sure, you're just sort of feeling it out to see if tattooing is something that you want to do long term, this is a great place to start. You can do all kinds of small tattoos with it, little bangers all day long, but I wouldn't recommend doing anything big with it. But you're not gonna be doing big stuff when you start out anyway. The only reason that I place this above the Inkjecta is because price point's so low and all of the weight is nice and down in your hand, which I find easier to control. The next machine that we have is an interesting one, and that is the FK Irons Adjust 1. Now, the reason why I like this machine, well, there's a couple of them actually. The first one is that the stroke, okay? It goes from a 2 all the way up to a 5. Usually with an adjustable stroke machine, you're looking at a 2.4, 2.5, and then it goes up to 4.5 max. This one covers the full range, so no matter what style of tattooing that you're doing, you're gonna be covered when you use this machine. The other thing that I like is that when you use the 5mm stroke, okay, you crank it all the way up. Normally you have to hang the needles out really far when you use a 5mm stroke machine, because if you don't, if you pull it in too much, the drive bar doesn't properly connect with the plunger on the needle cartridge, and you start hearing a really loud grinding sound coming from a machine, and it's just not good. But with this one, you can pull the needles in as much as you like, and it still runs fine. The only downside that I would say to this machine, and it's not even really a downside, it's just something that you've got to get used to, is that because of all the guts inside this machine, the mechanism that's required to make the stroke adjustable, it is a little bit heavier than the machines that I do like to use. And because the battery is a bit long, the weight is distributed slightly different to what I'm used to. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's just something that you got to be aware of if you're going to start using the machine for the first time. It'll take a little bit for your hand strength to kind of catch up and before you start, getting used to it. So the type of person I would recommend this machine for will be basically anyone. I mean, it's a great all-rounder machine. Whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced artist, this machine will cover basically anything that you're doing. If you're okay with the budget, it is a bit more of an expensive machine. If you don't mind a bit of a heavier machine as well. My second favorite machine on this list is going to be the Bishop Wand Liner. So the reason being is that this machine is a game changer for two things. The first one is line work. I kind of went way back the other way after using a 3.5mm stroke for a lot of years with the Inkjecta Nano. I wanted to try out the longest stroke machine that I could find, and that was the Bishop Wand Liner. And it's really, really good for thicker liners. So like 14 round liners, 14 round shaders, even up to an 18 round shader, it can push into the skin relatively easily. It's also great for really rough textured stippling. When you are doing a stippling tattoo, the shorter stroke machine that you use, the more soft and kind of smooth it is, which is kind of good for portraits. If you're doing like that Dan Silva type stuff or mandalas, things like that. But if you want like that really coarse, rough, textured stippling, then a longer stroke machine is definitely what you want. I also like that it's extremely light. Okay, this thing weighs practically nothing. I forgot what the exact weight of it is, but it's the lightest machine that I've ever used, especially when you connect it with a shorty battery, which is a little bit shorter than the normal critical battery. It feels like, you're not even holding anything at all. All the weight is distributed in my hand, so I have maximum control and precision when I'm using this machine, which I really, really like. But as good as this machine is for line work, it does have its drawbacks. First of all, it's super expensive. It's $1,200. It's only good for one thing, okay? If you want to do shading and packing, they've got two other machines you've got to buy, and you get the whole set. It's like $3.5 grand to get 3 tattoo machines, right? I don't like also using thinner needles with this. Like if I was doing a fine line tattoo, I would not use this machine doing a fine line. I'd use a shorter stroke machine. It's a little bit less intense. It has a very specific and narrow use case. If you try to shade with it, you can rip up the skin very easily, and it's definitely not my first choice for color or black and gray. I just use this for really thick lines. You also need a ton of needle hang. It's not like the FK irons are just one where you can pull the needles in as much as you want. You have to have a significant amount of needle hang when using a 5mm stroke machine, which means that you can very easily go too deep into the skin if you're not being careful. In addition to that, since it is such a hard hitting machine, if I'm tattooing someone that's like a little bit more seasoned, like 50 plus, I wouldn't even bother with this because it can damage the skin quite easily because it hits hard. So because of that, I wouldn't recommend this for beginners. I'd say if you're more of like an intermediate to an advanced artist, this machine is going to make sense. You can do, even thicker lines just fine with a 4.2mm stroke. So it's a nice to have, but I wouldn't say it's an absolute necessity. All right, and now it's time for my favorite machine, and that's going to be the Critical Torque 4.2mm stroke machine. All right, so the main reason that I like this machine is that it just flat out works, all right? Everything that I do, whether it's, thick lines or color saturation or black and gray, it's able to do it, okay? It's not quite as good as the Bishop liner for like the really thick liners, but it can still put them into the skin, and it can do everything else as well. And it also hits really, really hard. So whenever you're doing color packing with it, it's great for that. After many, many years of using a 3.5 stroke with the Inkjecta Nano and not knowing any better and really struggling with lining and also solid color work as well, it was amazing to use this machine because it just puts color into the skin with ease. Now, with all that said, there's nothing perfect in this life, and there is actually one thing that I do dislike about this machine, and it's a design flaw. Whenever I tattoo, okay, I like to have my middle finger resting against the shoulder of the machine, and the cartridge just kind of sits on top of that. If I push too hard against the cartridge with my middle finger, then I start to hear a grinding noise coming from my machine, whether that's the needle grinding against the plastic cartridge or the drive bar not properly lining up with the plunger. It affects the way that the machine runs, and the one way that I like to hold my machine is the one way that this machine does not like to be held. I don't get that at all with the Bishop, but yeah, I've kind of had to change the way that I hold my machine a bit. And instead of pushing my finger up against the cartridge, I just pull against the shoulder of the machine and it works just fine. But yeah, you've just got to be aware that if you push up against the cartridge, it'll start to grind a bit and it affects the way that the tattoo machine runs. So who I would recommend this machine for, again, this is going to be across the board, beginner, intermediate, advanced, doesn't matter where you're at in your tattooing career. I think this is a great machine. You know, if you want a machine that does everything, lining, packing, shading, this is my daily driver that I use in 95% of my tattoos. So those are my rankings for all of the main tattooing machines out of the dozens that I've used across my tattooing career, with my favorite being the Critical Torque because it's an all-rounder, works great on just about everything, and has a really hard hit, so it's great for color work. Then we've got the Bishop Liner, which is amazing for thick power lines, but it is a little bit of a specialist type use case. I don't really use it for anything else other than that. Then we've got the FK Irons Adjust 1, super versatile. You can use it for basically anything. A little bit on the pricey side and a little bit of a more heavy machine, but if you're okay with that, great option as well. Then my fourth favorite is going to be the Dragonhawk Masterfold Pro. Okay, this is more so for a beginner artist. If you want to test the waters because you're not 100% sure, if you're fully ready to dive in and commit to tattooing for the rest of your life and you just want to test it out before you make a decision to invest more, great place to start. Can do a little bit of everything as long as you stick to smaller, more basic tattoos. And then finally, we've got the Inkjecta Nano, which I don't think is a bad machine. I just wouldn't use it myself for line work. It's more of a softer hitting machine that I find is a lot better for black and gray, some realism stuff here and there. And if you don't mind using a clip cord or an RCA cord, it's absolutely fine. Once you put a battery on the end of it, it can get a little bit awkward with the weight, but this is mainly for shading. I wouldn't use this for bold, heavy line work. One thing that I'd like to add to this video, guys, is that all of these machines are either rotary or pen style machines. I do get asked a lot about coils, and the reason why I haven't included any of those here is because I just don't use them. I did for a little bit towards the beginning of my apprenticeship when I was new to tattooing, and I didn't like them because they're super loud, they're awkward to hold because you've got the coils and they're quite heavy. They also have to be tuned between every single tattoo that you do. Once I switched over to rotaries, I never looked back and I don't plan on going back anytime soon. That said, there are a lot of amazing artists out there that do use coils, especially for line work. But for me personally, pen style machines and rotary style machines do everything that I need them to do. So that's why I only use that. Also, these are just my favorite machines, okay? The type of machine that is right for you may not be on this list depending on the style of work that you do, your budget, and just your general preferences. So to help you out, I've put together a quick chart here. If you follow the questions, it will tell you what types of features you actually want to look for when you're in the market for buying a machine. So you don't fall for just whatever company has the best marketing. And believe me, these tattoo supply companies are sharp, their marketing is solid, and they can make a really average machine seem really, really sexy if you don't know what to look for. And I've also included my current recommendations on this list, so if you need a little bit more help narrowing it down, I'll pop the link to that in the description down below this video, so hopefully that'll help you out. And if you want to get feedback on your tattoos from our team personally, the link for coaching is just below this video. Now, figuring out what equipment that you need to buy as a new tattoo artist can be very overwhelming, and if you're not careful, dramatically more expensive than it needs to be. Trust me, I've blown a shitload of cash over the years on tattoo supplies that were kind of shit, especially when it comes to needles. So before you buy your next box, I highly recommend checking out this Needles Masterclass video. It will cover every single needle that you're going to use as a tattoo artist, as well as the configurations that I recommend for beginners when you're just starting out.